Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So I spoke to you enough about my woes with MG ZST 2021 model that we have in the family. You've heard enough about that. And today it's time to get to constructive action. And that is using the tools available to us to find something suitable for me to replace this car with, within sensible price range. So those of you who suggested that I buy a Haval H9 clearly didn't look at the brief. So today we are going to first take a look at how much I can realistically sell our car for, MG ZST, yeah? And then what is out there for sale in Australia on carsales.com.au, which for better or for worse still is probably the most complete database and the sales website for used cars in Australia. So we're going to together scroll through and take a look at what I can get for the budget that I've set for this exchange. Makes sense? Let's get started straight after you hear from my sponsors. DDPAI. DDPAI have been our friends for a very long time, and I've been reviewing a lot of their high-quality dash cameras on Auto Gear Reviews. In case you have been living under a rock or just passing by, Auto Gear Reviews is a spin-off channel of Value Cars Australia, where I have started reviewing a lot of gadgets, car gadgets, and other kind of things, such as dash cameras. These cameras are of amazing quality. I've been using them for a long time. We have two cars, obviously, so one of the cars is with the DDPAI camera. And the good thing is that they pack a lot into these. You get two channels, you get the view forward and you get a view backwards, typically, unless it's a 3-channel camera, there are those as well. And they have extra modules such as the hard wiring kit, such as the cloud box, which connects you to the cloud and can upload footage automatically to the cloud so that it doesn't get lost or anything else, as well as things like radar modules even. Whether or not it's legal or not legal to use in your area, wherever that is up to you to find out. That is not on me, but I can just tell you that DDPAI gives you a lot. So I'm very, very grateful to DDPAI for sponsoring this video. All right, so first of all, if I sell this car privately, of course I get more money for it, but it will also take me a lot more time. It will take coordination with the private buyers who show up, who don't show up, who make appointments, and all that kind of stuff. It's a headache that we don't want to deal with. But neither am I too keen to drop about $5,000 to $6,000 off the price of the vehicle and jump straight to the instant offer. Instant offer is my fallback plan. So let's take a look at both of these options. So according to kind of rough estimation, first of all, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with MG, white MG ZST Essence model, top of the range, fake leather, sunroof, everything else, in a reasonable condition other than its check engine light, which is going to be resolved in August by going to MG, and then they have to deal whatever they deal with there. So let's presume that there are no obvious issues with the vehicle, okay? There are some scuffs and other kind of stuff on the rims of the low profile tires. Well, that is something that a person who buys a bargain vehicle will have to deal with. The car otherwise is in relatively good condition, and it has about 48,000 kilometers on the clock, so under 50. All right, what would they offer me for this? Well, according to the rough estimation that I'm looking at right now on the screen, I probably would get between 12,000 and 14,500. Let's round it up and say even 15,000 if I'm lucky, of an instant offer. 15 I would take. I would take 15. Lower I would not take. I would just keep complaining about this car to you, and I would honestly just keep it, to be honest, for that kind of price, if that's the best I can do for that. All right, but it's explained, this low price conversion is explained that instant cash buying services, of course, they need to make money. It's business, all right? So they are offering wholesale or trade-in value, and that is roughly 15 to 25% estimated, lower than the private sale. So how much would be the private sale? Well, evidently from this calculation it would be between 16 and, if I'm extremely lucky, somewhere within $17,000, which probably is unlikely to happen, simply because, running ahead of myself, there are plenty of used MGs on the market right now. And ours, again, is not terrible, but at the same time, it's not the greatest of them all in the most pristine state that some grandma was driving 30 meters down the road. Okay, it's not that situation either. With that in mind, let's proceed and let's look at carsales.com.au website and see exactly what is on offer for about $20,000. At the moment, I'm capping the potential purchase for 20 grand because I do not want to pay more than $3,000 to $5,000 on top of the sale price for this tin can. All right, with that in mind, let's take a look at what Carsales has to offer. I forgot to mention, and it's important, that I'm recording this just as the calendar rolls over into July 2026, so obviously these prices are going to change with time. As you can see here on the left-hand side, I have excluded MGs, obviously, because there would be a ton of MGs within this price range. I already checked. I live in New South Wales, so it's New South Wales selected as well. Price, as you can see, realistically, I'm thinking between 15 and 20. Not unreasonable. But yes, it's somewhat limiting on the brands if you exclude dirt cheap stuff such as MGs. And I think it's fair to expect roughly the same number of kilometers that we have on our MG. I don't want vastly more, and you probably, and you're welcome to, you probably will say, Dimitri, you can easily go up to 60,000 if it's a Toyota or something else. It's still okay. And you might be right. Do tell me if that's the case. But let's work with this. You can see the conditions on the left. What are we dealing with here if not MG? We have 191 cars returned in New South Wales that are matching my criteria right now. Not a terrible yield, I suppose. We are obviously straight away looking at Kia Picantos that are pushing within lower kilometer range, such as 23,000 kilometers. We're looking at about 20 grand to spend on this, and if it's a private seller, they probably are also negotiable on price. So I probably will be able to knock off at least a grand, maybe 2 grand. I don't think there is a massive margin in this, but I think I'd be able to get it cheaper for like 18, maybe 18 and a half. Okay, then here we have for 40,000 kilometers, so even roughly the same as our MG. Again, Kia Picanto, same year as our MG, for a lot more sensible, 17 grand. Of course, Kia Picanto is a smaller vehicle than MG ZST, but not by much, I would dare say. Yes, it is smaller. I mean, you have to say it's smaller. But also Kia is Kia. Kia is Korean. Kia is better, in my humble opinion. So I would tell you straight away, not to wrap up the video here because there are more offers there. I would say Picanto, I probably would get Picanto, to be honest with you. Issue with it is obvious. It's still a small vehicle. It still sits very low. And one of the problems that I kind of hate about MG is how low profile tires are, how low it sits to the ground, and how easy it is to scrape everything. However, if it's a nicely trimmed kind of vehicle, such as that white one, I don't think it looks too bad. So I don't think it would be too much of an ego hit either to me, occasionally using the car to get to a train station, or to my wife, you know? So that is definitely okay. So we start on a high here, my friends. There are some other highs, but whatever. There are lows as well. Lows are things like Hyundai Accents. First of all, 2019. I practically had hair back then in 2019. It feels like ages ago. I would not go as old as a seven-year-old car. No chance. It has to be at least within 2000s. Come on, man. Hyundai Venue, also sensible price, horrible looking car. Hyundai is a good brand comparable to Kia, but it's just horrible looking. I would just hate my life if I drove that, okay? That's my opinion. This one looks a tiny bit better, but it's also an older model, so we're not even talking about that. I'm not going to fall back into the trap of buying a ute before you tell me, Dimitri, how about a ute, mate? No utes, mate. No utes, also because clearly they have been also workhorses to these people, even if it's low kilometrage. So there is a higher chance of there being much more wear and tear. I don't even want to deal with it. At least that's what I think. Renault, again, 2017, come on, don't even talk to me about 2017. But if we talk about Europeans, the only one that I will pause on in a minute, it is Volkswagen, maybe Volkswagen. But Renault, French-made, in Australia, asking for trouble, man, asking for trouble. I know MG is not a gem in this sense, in the sense of reliability, and I've given it enough grief, whether it was fully deserved or somewhat deserved. But honestly, French is probably falling even lower. In Europe, different story. Don't come at me, bro. In Europe, you have support, you have a very different network to us. But in Australia, man, oh man, no thanks, no thanks. This Toyota Corolla, let's take a look at this. Well, of course, it's 2014. Oh my God, that's what, 12 years old car. However, Look at the kilometrage, only 35,000 kilometers. What were they doing with this? Maybe that's exactly the situation where the grandma was driving it to, I don't know, down the road to the shops. Maybe, good on you, grandma. So basically the car was not used. Mind you, it looks like I'm a grandpa in my 70s and I probably would hate my life driving it because it has no style, and I know I want a lot, but at the same time I'm not being unfair, and I'm thinking that I kind of both deserve and will squeeze out something slightly more stylish than that. Come on, man, that's just horrible, okay? Now we're getting to things that are a lot more interesting. 2021 Volkswagen Polo. Okay, now we're talking. We're talking a little bit here. We're talking a little bit. At least Volkswagen, you know, it's a TSI engine, okay? It's a very low kilometrage, 13,000, no idea what's going on, but it's a manual. That explains it. Manual, probably not in 2026. I'm sorry, not in 2026, man. Kia Cerato 2017, straight away a write-off. Doesn't look too bad as far as I'm concerned, but straight away no. Another Picanto over here, 2023 model. 2023 is reasonable. 2023 is reasonable. So I would probably zoom in on that if I really was ready to start closely inspecting. At the moment, I'm just scoping it out, okay? And again, we have Volkswagen Polos. A little, I would like to stay in 2000s, just, you know, I would like to stay in 2000s, but this is sort of where it gets a little bit more interesting. So where I'd like to take this, my friends, and yes, there is a Mazda also from 2016, too old, 10 years old, no thanks. 10 years is 10 years, come on, even for Mazda, 10 years is 10 years. So what do you see? What trend do you see on the screen if I keep scrolling, guys? What you see on the screen is what I sort of surmised from this, and I'm looking at, so I'm discarding Italian, I'm discarding French, Fiat is not known for particular reliability, Honda is great but ancient, Toyotas are great but boring and ancient here. So what it looks like to me from this video, the scope of it, 10 minutes that I have of your attention span, a little bit more, thank you very much if you're still with me, is that if I want a somewhat stylish city car, for this kind of money, it looks like I'm looking at Kia Picanto. That's what it looks like I'm looking at. They're stylish, I sort of like them, and they're from a decent brand. Another contestant is Volkswagen Polo. If I can find something within 2000s, which I probably will be able to if I scrolled further, but I don't want to waste your time. I'm just giving you an overall kind of scoping situation at this point without me pulling the trigger yet. So Volkswagen Polo or Kia Picanto, that's what we're talking about here. Your homework, especially if you're one of my supporters / people who find my videos entertaining, whatever, this is your chance to shape my further choice. So talk to me in the comments down below. First of all, what else, in your opinion, even if you did the same search, if you have nothing better to do, make yourself a tea and do that for me. I will really appreciate it. I might even run a little giveaway, one of those dash cameras. How does that sound? I will think about it and I'll come back to this channel, obviously, and I'll post further on this. But if you end up suggesting me a good vehicle or finding me one, for example, you post a link in the comments below or something like that to Carsales specific vehicle, I promise, if you're not a troll, I will consider it. If you're a troll, of course I'll ignore you, and if you're a rude troll, I'll ban you. But that is just the rules of the private club. But I will reward someone who recommends a good vehicle for me. How about that? But for me, again, to wrap it up from my own perspective, it looks like Volkswagen Polo or Kia Picanto are two choices that I realistically can make within my budget. Tell me if it resonates, tell me which one is better and why. Of course, subjectively you may say, I like Utes. It doesn't matter, it doesn't help, mate. I mean, you can express it, and thank you very much for just watching. But if you want to help or somehow affect this decision-making process, I would love it. I would love for you to tell me. Volkswagen, or no chance, Dimitri, they have horrible diesel or something. Like, I don't know. I will do further research, obviously, on my end. But if you want to play, let's play. Thanks very much for watching. That's all you get from me today. And goodbye for now. Next week, more videos. As always, you've been here long enough. And if you haven't, subscribe while it's not too late. See you later. Bye for now.